The more you tell stories, especially if it's about yourself, then you are going to connect with people in a deeper way. Welcome to the Pet Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Skarlet Rockwood. As a content marketer for pet professionals, I love talking with other marketers and business owners in the pet industry and sharing their marketing advice with you. So join me for the latest episode and learn how to grow your audience, increase your revenue, and impact the lives of pets and their people. Hey Fur Fam, welcome to another episode. Today I would like to talk to you about 11 helpful tips that will help you grow your pet business Instagram account. Now there are entire in-depth strategies and long content plans that you can customize, and all of those things are things that you should definitely be doing, but these are just little quick tips that are going to help you tweak, and if any one of them would help you grow your Instagram account and increase engagement if you use it consistently enough. Number 1, optimize your bio and make sure that it's set up to say who you help and how you help them. If people don't know what you do and who you serve when they first land on your page, they're a lot less likely to actually follow you instead of just bouncing away. So that bio is a really valuable space to help you tell people exactly what you do and who you are in a very short paragraph. This is something that is like the elevator pitch of social media. So make sure that you're using the description area of your bio as much as you possibly can. You have 150 characters to work with, and utilize all of them, especially if you can fit in a nice call to action as well that encourages them to click your link, either to go download a free resource or to go shop on your website or read your latest blog post, whatever it is you'd like to lead them to do. If you write your bio properly, you can often have room for a call to action that tells people why they want to click on that link. Number 2, research your hashtags. A lot of people just throw hashtags onto their posts as if they just thought them up as soon as they were making the post, and a lot of times that's what happens. So what you want to do instead is actually research the hashtags in your industry and make sure that you are using the hashtags that are the best for your account. So which hashtags are actually the best for your account? You're looking for the hashtags you can rank in the top posts of. So this means hashtags that you have more likes and comments on average than the posts that are in those top 9 slots. And the top 9 is a little different now that we have one reel off to the side, but the top posts in general, you want to make sure that you already have better engagement than those posts, because that's what gets you more than often than not into the top ranking area. There are other factors at play as well, like the popularity of your account and how quickly you achieve reach, which is why you'll see some accounts where people who have less engagement than you are in their top and you are not. It's often because they got that engagement faster, or there's some other invisible factor of their account where they are getting some form of engagement at a higher rate than you are. However, the kind that we can see, those likes and comments, are something that you can easily take a look at and just find hashtags that are in your industry, in your niche, that are also big enough that people see them. So more than 10,000 hashtags ideally, 10,000 size ideally, and you want to make sure that you can actually rank. If you can't rank, then you're fighting with the people in the recents tab, and that will just depend on how big the hashtag is and how quickly the posts are moving. That is often why people will say that the size of the hashtag matters. It's because if you are going to rely on being seen in that recent tab, then how quickly new posts are being added on is really important. Whereas if you are trying to rank on the top tab, what matters a lot more is just making sure that you keep a higher engagement on average than most of the people who end up on that page. And usually when that's the case, you will eventually end up there as well. Now do keep in mind that the bigger a hashtag is, the faster things are moving, and that does often mean that you spend less time in that position when you reach it because they are changing over more often. So that is another reason to consider sticking to smaller hashtags, possibly those that are less than 100,000 or less than 500,000. It can depend a lot on what your actual engagement is. If you're trying to rank with an average of 50 likes and 5 comments, you may have to be a little bit more selective about which hashtags you can use and which ones you think you can rank in. And you may have to use some smaller ones. Whereas if you have 500 likes on average or 1,000 likes on average and 20 comments, then you have a little bit more wiggle room to work with and pick and choose a lot more hashtags that you can rank in. So that is why doing your research first really matters. It's not just a matter of picking a hashtag that makes sense for the post. It's not just a matter of picking a hashtag that's the right size. It's also, and even more so than anything else, about the fact that you are ranking in the top. So you want to make sure that you get more engagement than the top ranking posts typically do. Number 3, you want to research your best performing posts. So look back through your insights and look at which posts got more likes, more comments, more reach than any other posts. And you can then repurpose them, create other posts that are like them, or even just repost the exact same post again. Now, this is easy to do for us on our own accounts because of insights, but if you are looking at someone else's account, you can also do this. So this is a little bit less refined, but you can just look over their most recent post and see which ones got significantly more engagement than the others. We're not as much worried about exactly how much engagement that is, as long as it's significantly more than the average. So if you're looking at an account where the average post gets 1,000 likes and 50 comments, then you're looking for something in the 2, 3, 5,000 range, whatever is bumped up higher than the average. Now, if you're looking at an account where the average is only about 50 likes per post, then a like of 100 or 200 would be a big deal. So worry less about the pure number and more about whether this is a post that is performing better than average on the account. And if it is, then it is likely that it is a post that your audience is responding to well, and that is something you can then save and use for inspiration later when you are going back and making your content every week or every month. Number 4, be personal. Be casual, be friendly, talk to people. Don't just treat social media like it's a billboard. Make sure that you are actually getting out there and showing that there is a person behind your account, because people do business with people. And there's this thing called the parasocial relationship, which basically is why a lot of people feel like they are attached emotionally to celebrities who they've never met. Essentially, the more we see someone and the more we interact with them, even if it's a one-sided thing of seeing them on video or seeing their face in photos, the more we begin to make a connection in our brain and feel like we actually have met and know this person. And this is why some people who follow celebrities on social media and watch all of their movies and read magazines to see what they're, doing when they're not acting, they often feel like they have become more attached to that actor, and they have actually become almost the same way you would feel about a friend. So this is what we call the parasocial relationship, and it is exactly why you want to be personal on your account and make sure that people know that there is a person there. Even if you don't show your face, make sure that people know that there is someone there listening when they are making comments, someone there to reply. Because if not, you're really just creating a billboard, and that's not what social media is for, and you're leaving behind a lot of the power of what social media is as far as a marketing channel. Number 5, create videos and make sure that they have a 3-second hook. In fact, even if you're not using videos, you can still make sure there's a 3-second hook by putting the most important thing, the most eye-catching and interesting thing that will snag someone's attention, either on the graphic itself or in the first line of the captions. So if you are using a video, this usually means that the first few seconds of your video are saying or doing something interesting. Sometimes this is pulled from later in the video, but oftentimes it's also just you saying what the video is going to be about at the beginning of the video. Number 6, when something inspires you and you want to remember it for later, save it for later. use the save buttons on Instagram, or if you're on any other platforms like Facebook, use those save buttons as well. Save it to a folder on your computer or your phone, whatever you need to do, so that when it's time for you to create content, you have this collection of content that you know stood out to you and that you liked. And that means it's entirely possible that it will stand out to your audience as well. So make sure that if you see something that inspires you or that motivates you to create something, that you save it so that when you are in creator mode, you are going to have it and remember to go back to it and actually create something from it. Number 7, tell your story. This is a little bit different from being personal in that this is actually telling people the story of your brand, whether it's you as a personal brand or your products with a company logo facing type brand. You want to make sure that you are telling stories in your marketing, and that you are, when you're talking to people, when you're making captions for social media, when you're writing emails, the more you tell stories, especially if it's about yourself, then you are going to connect with people in a deeper way. And they want to know, why did you start this business? Why do you love animals so much? What was it that made you fall in love with dogs? What is it that made you want to create a leash that is good for, dogs that need special materials because they have allergies, or whatever the particular specific thing is that you do? Why do you do it? Why did you choose to become a groomer or a pet sitter? Oftentimes there was like a special dog in your life that kind of made you fall in love with dogs in general, or maybe there's something totally different. Let us know. Tell people your story. So that way, when you are being thought of, when they see you, when they think of your brand, they think of it with more of a personality. They think of the story and how the brand came to be. And that makes it kind of take up a different space in their brain than if they just look at it as the label on a product. Number 8, give teasers to build suspense for things that are coming up. So whether you have an event coming up or a special sale, you're releasing a new product or service, talk about them, but just give little tidbits of detail and tell people something exciting is coming. That will get people more interested, get them engaged, get them checking back to see what it is that you actually are going to announce. And then when you do announce it, it's something that they're primed for. They're ready and waiting so that they're not just surprised or caught off guard by this big new announcement. Number 9, follow other people in your niche and actually interact with people. Again, don't just be a billboard. You want to interact with other accounts, reach out, make connections, and talk to people. The point of social media is to be social, and the more that you do this, you are going to build more genuine, deeper connections. You're going to create customers who recognize that level of service and customer experience. And you're also going to make the algorithm see that you are a real person who's interacting with other accounts, which is going to be something that will make it like your account more and want to show it to more people. Number 10, provide as much value as you can up front. The more value you give people, the more they're going to expect from you when they actually hire you. And what that means is the more likely they are to buy your product or sign up for your service. If you are a dog trainer and you aren't providing any value on your account, they have no way of knowing that you're a good dog trainer, or whether your methods will work well for their dog, or whether they like the way you train. But if you post videos all the time about your training sessions, or even tips about how they could do things at home with their dog, then they're going to be much more likely to actually hire you as a trainer, buy your online course, or whatever it is that you would like them to do. So try to remember that the more that you give, the more you get in return, and people will always value and trust you more when you are open and give value right up front. Number 11, which I've put at the end because I think it's the most important, is to remain consistent. This is partially about how you show up, when and where you show up on your platforms, how often you post, but it's also about what you post and how you sound, what your messaging is talking about. If you jump all over the place, all of your graphics look different, your captions sound like they were written by different people, it's going to be a lot harder for people to really understand what you're about and connect with your brand and want to buy from you. So make sure that you are consistent and you are always thinking about what is the goal, what is my mission, my purpose, what do I want people to learn or get out of it, and what is the impact that I want to have on people's lives. And then consistently make sure that all of the content and all of the interactions that you have are serving that purpose. What was your favorite thing about this episode? Hit me up on Instagram at Skarlet Rockwood to tell me about it or ask any questions that you have about marketing your own pet business. If you know other pet professionals who would love this podcast, go ahead and screenshot this episode and share it to your Instagram stories. Be sure to tag me when you do, because seeing who's listening and hearing your feedback is 100% what motivates me to keep doing what I do. You can also join the Content Marketing for Pet Professionals Facebook group to connect with other pet industry professionals like you. If you'd like to follow up on any of the resources or links mentioned in this episode, you can find them in the show notes. Don't forget to be awesome, and I'll see you in the next episode.